Hello, everyone. I'm Beverly Goodman with Barron's, and I'm here with Subramaniam, the president of Fidelity Brokerage Services. Let's jump right in. Fidelity has an unusual love of technology in the asset management world, I think. You guys spend about $2.5 billion annually on technology. What are you spending it on? What can we see in the next 5 years, and what are sort of the moonshot projects that you guys are working on?
Thank you, Beverly. First of all, it's great to be here. Great to see all of you. Yes, Fidelity, we spend over $2.5 billion in technology. We have over 12,000 technologists. You know, we like to think of ourselves as a technology company that happens to be in financial services. So if you look at Fidelity now, a large-scale player, we span multiple businesses. Direct retail, where I come from. We also support institutions. We support RIA. So we have an asset management business that's very large. So we have the whole business mix. And for us, we look at technology and all the spend we do, and we're trying to innovate and push the boundaries in many, many areas. First of all, we need to make sure technology helps us run our business as well. So there's an investment to make sure the core engines are working. We're driving more scale, more efficiency, so we can serve our customers cheaper, better, faster. So that's one big part of technology. Second piece is Fidelity. We spend a lot of time and effort to make sure that we are at the cutting edge of technology. So we're making investments in cloud, in building APIs for ourselves, but also for other players that use our platforms. In big data, in AI, so we are trying to make cutting-edge investments. We have hired a lot of data engineers, dozens of AI scientists, so I think we are starting to become a place where really smart technology folks have the ability to make a difference, and I'll tell you, we're also changing how we work. You know, investment is important, but it's also important to create a place where our technology folks and business folks can make a difference. So we're using Agile in many parts of our business. And when we use it, what we're finding out is silos are breaking down. We have smaller teams really trying to leverage technology to bring value to customers. Because at the end of the day, our investment technology is to say, how can we bring faster value to customers? And we're starting to see Agile work. Cycle times are reducing. So for us, technology is in multiple areas, and also we have specialized units like FCAT, which is Fidelity Center for Applied Technology, Fidelity Labs. As a large private company, we're able to look at the long view and make investments in these kind of new technologies, whether they're virtual reality, voice recognition. I mean, you can go down the list and make experiments, because it's all about making experiments and see which experiments can work to bring more value to customers. So we're pretty excited, and we want to be in the cutting edge of technology and continue to be a great place in which our young and really skilled technologists can make a difference for us and our customers.
So give some specific examples of what that technology might look like for the individual investor. How can all of this help make investing easier, safer, helping people navigate choice, making trading easier, advice?
Absolutely. Look, I mean, this is all about making it easier, simpler. Financial services in general has not been really easy for different segments of customers. So at Fidelity, we spend a lot of time to say, how do you make it easier, plain English, simpler, make the experience for the customer, for that customer, personalized, you know? So I'll give you a couple of examples. We launched our voice authentication system in the last year, and now when customers call us, and they can do the authentication based on their voice, and it's done once, and they don't have to keep providing their information every time.
So I just say my name, Beverly Goodman, and then it automatically populates
we'll ask
everything.
you to talk for a few words, and then we authenticate the voice, so the next time you call, it's stored already. We take your consent for that. But the good news for the customer, like yourself, Beverly, is then you call the next time, and we recognize you. It's much faster, and we're able to serve the customer and get to the reason you called much faster. And from our point of view, it's also bringing us more scale. I mean, one of the things we believe in is scale is important. And we have scale, and for us, technology is about driving scale to the next level. I'll give you another example of making it easier for customers. Now we're talking about the millennial customer base. We have our Fidelity Go, our Robo advisory offering. We just changed the minimum account opening from 5,000 to 0. So this makes it much more inclusive and open for a millennial investor, much easier to open. And at $10, we can start making the investment. And so the customer now pays 35 basis points, and all-in fee. It's very transparent and easy. And we've seen customers really respond well to that.
Yeah.
And I could go down. Now, you look at our mobile app. I'm sure many of you here in the audience have Fidelity's mobile app. You could see how it's also about making, it's not done. It's a constant evolution. It's about constantly taking customer feedback and how do you make it better. You look at our app today and 2 years ago, you would see what an amount of change we have done, because now the app is a lot more personalized to you as an individual customer, because we are able to see what you want, what you have done, and we're able to personalize the content, the experiences, the lessons. We have over 22 lessons for millennials. But we could start personalizing it based on your interests.
So Roboadvice is a fascinating area. It, at its very basic, just allows people to answer a few questions and get kind of an asset allocation plan, how much in stocks and bonds and what types of funds they should be in. This idea really kind of came out of Silicon Valley with companies like Wealthfront and Betterment, but the sort of more traditional asset managers have well taken over, Schwab and Vanguard and Fidelity. So what does the future look like? Where does sort of the technology and the financial services intersect, and what can customers expect there?
So like you said, Beverly, it's a great example of technology coming together with customer experience. And then the big question is, how do you scale it to benefit large numbers of customers? So for us, Roboadvice is important. And for us, it fits in the overall spectrum of customer offering. We like to think at Fidelity, because of our size, we have over 20 million retail accounts. Customers come in all shapes, sizes, forms. We have customers who are totally self-directed, customers all the way up to private wealth management who expect a different level of service and touch. So Robo fits in the middle. There is a large volume of customers who want a phenomenal digital experience, but also they want to be, digital experience, money management, and they want help when they need it. So for us in that spectrum that I talked about, Robo fits nicely. That's why our customers have reacted really well to what we have. And also it's important for us a lot of our customers stay with us for years. So customers have life events. And to be able to be with the customer for their life events, Robo plays an important role. And also remember, let's not forget, customers might start as self-directed, and over time they might migrate to Robo, and then one day when they get enough wealth, they become private wealth. So at Fidelity, we like to be able to offer customers experiences that span the whole waterfront. Customers can enter wherever they want, but we're able to have them move up or down wherever their choice is. And that for us is important, and Robo plays a key role there.
I agree that there needs to be a spectrum, and some people will always want to talk to a human, but when are we going to get to the point where AI is really present in Robo, where the system can tell me that because I bought or sold a house, I need to rethink my asset allocation?
I think a lot of that is already starting to happen. We are doing a lot of experiments at Fidelity using AI. I'll give you an example. When now customers call us, we get more than 100,000 calls. We can recognize you by your voice now. Let's say you've authenticated. We also have call intent models that can look at a lot of the stuff for the customer base like you, and almost get to the point of why you're calling, and be able to send you to a specialized person. And then there are different things. I mean, when you're making investments based on customer needs and what they've said, using data and AI to make adjustments. So we could see that evolution already happening, and we are doing a number of experiments, and we have launched customer-facing features that take advantage. But then, as you know, AI is a whole spectrum. I mean, it's going to be years in the making. It's a lot of fine-tuning and evolution.
So what are the more applications for AI and big data in financial services? What are the limits? What are the possibilities? What might we see soon versus 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, AI and big data are big for us at Fidelity, and I know it's a big thing here at this conference too. And for us, AI by itself is not a panacea for everything. It's about how do you take big data, how do you use AI principles, machine learning, to make the customer experience better. So the first thing is customer obsession. At Fidelity, we like to say, okay, we have all these customers. We really have to understand the customer, their behavior, what they are doing, and what they want deeply. Big data and AI help there. Once customer obsession becomes part of all of our systems, then we're able to say, okay, each individual customer, in this case Beverly, we think you might be interested in this, or this could be helpful to you. So we've already started doing some of those stuff with our frontline people, where when a customer comes in, we're using AI analysis to almost say, okay, what could be the next best help? So for us, it's all about saying, how do you engage? So I would see AI as deeper engagement, more personalized experiences in everything you touch, more personalized solutions. And then obviously, years to come, who knows? I mean, people talk about, sci-fi kind of stuff. But I could see an evolution where financial services and we at Fidelity starting to leverage AI a lot more.
Okay. So will we get to a point where robots are actually giving advice?
Yeah, I could see. I mean, it needs a combination of, customer experiences working the right way. We need to make sure that the right policy and regulatory setups support that. And for us at Fidelity to be able to do it at scale. I mean, you could see that movie. I mean, when you think about a Robo in effect behind the scenes, we are now personalizing it based on what each individual customers, how they answer the questions. Mm-hmm. So it is personalized to a large extent when we make changes, but you could see that being fine-tuned and getting to a point of deep personalization. That is the holy grail.
Moving on to cryptocurrency, Fidelity has been experimenting with it. I know you guys have like a pilot program internally. I think it's accepted and Bitcoin's accepted in the cafeteria, right? If you could talk a little bit about that and your partnership with Coinbase and what prompted that.
Yeah, crypto, as I know, it's a big topic at Fidelity over the last couple of years. We've done a lot of research, a lot of experimenting, a lot of learning. We've made some investments, venture investing in this area. We also have a specialized team in our Fidelity labs that's focused on this area, trying to see what are the areas in which we can bring value to customers using this. So I think it's an ongoing process, a lot going on. Mm-hmm. I'll give you a couple of real examples where we have brought Coinbase is one, as you mentioned. So Fidelity retail customers now can link to their Coinbase account where they can buy crypto, and so it's aggregated on the fidelity.com and our sites. So for us, that's a way of enabling our customers that want to buy and engage in crypto to be able to do it in an extended relationship. It's not something we offer directly. Mm-hmm. Same with charitable, which again, Fidelity Charitable Gift Account, which is a donor advised fund, which is one of the largest. We have enabled customers to be able to donate using crypto, which has gotten good traction, several $1 million, some of them very big. So it's another means of helping customers to say if you want to give to charities using that. So we're always experimenting, trying new things, and we are definitely in the game, and we feel that there's more to come.
Is there anything in particular that you've learned that has surprised you, or even if it's not a particularly useful bit of information, just something that you weren't expecting in some of this research?
No, our CEO said this in a speech last year. I think what we have learned is we're learning a lot every day. We are learning from other participants. We also know there are 3 or 4 things that need to come together over time to make this really big. Mm-hmm. We need, how customers use it, mm-hmm. for what they use it, how institutions use it. Mm-hmm. We need some, policy adaptations. We need some technology adaptations because eventually it has to work at scale. And also we have some control adaptations, which is, how does it all control? Because when you run large businesses, who owns the information, who owns the control of the processes. So we feel that there's a lot of learnings there further to happen.
Yeah, you mentioned the idea of scale. One of the things that I've found particularly interesting about crypto and Bitcoin in particular is that it's the only area that I can think of where individual investors actually have an advantage over institutions. They can buy and sell it like it's a security. They can use it as a currency. Institutions have a ton of restrictions and most can't engage really at all. So is that a long-term, first of all, is that sustainable? Is it even desirable? Do we need institutional buy-in to have crypto really take off?
I think what we'd say at Fidelity in general is, I think eventually having both institutional and retail players together in the market is always helpful because it brings more liquidity, it brings more access, it brings more price discovery, for example. So I think whether you look back and you look at ETFs or alternatives in any of these areas, I think the combination of all market participants engaging and having a transparent, rule-based market is always helpful. So we feel that it applies to crypto too.
Okay. In terms of some of the other sort of big topics, whether it's crypto, AI, VR, like what do you think is the most important thing that, from a financial services perspective, that investors should be keeping an eye on, either in terms of their use and engaging with their money, or in terms of them like being able to have portfolios managed by machines or what have you?
I think number one is customer experience. So the customer obsession I talked about, really going deep on understanding customers and making sure the experience is personalized, it's easy, it's simple, it's accessible. I think that's what we're all trying to do. Mm-hmm. That's where I think technology, AI, big data, they're all enablers that will help us get to a better place in getting customer experience better. And that's what at Fidelity we're constantly striving. And as a private company, our view is we're going to stay on this game forever. That's number one. Besides that, choice is important. Having more choice, customers want choice. But customer experience makes customers, helps them pick out from the choice. Innovation is important. And value is important for, at Fidelity we talk about value. Value, because when a customer comes in, what they want is total value. And value comes in many, many shapes and forms. So if you're a Fidelity retail brokerage customer, Beverly, let's say you are, you get value in terms of low commissions. But also commission is only one piece of the puzzle. It's having access to dozens of free ETFs, thousands of free mutual fund, no transaction fee funds, having ATM cards that rebate your fees, having free debit card, free bill pay, no account fee, or a 2% cashback card with no fee. So it's the package. So when we do a lot of research with customers talk about value. So for us, value is very important, and we're all in the game to make sure that we bring more value to customers.
And again, from the investor standpoint, this is something that it's a little more exciting from how they're going to be engaging with their money rather than actually investing in, there are tons of China Bitcoin ETFs, artificial intelligence, virtual reality investments. Too soon?
We don't know. Look, these are all, we're watching, like I said, we're experimenting, researching, we're not predicting. And for us, the single-minded focus is the customers. How can we help them get to their goals? Yep. And everything we're trying to do is keep chugging away at making that better.
All right. Thanks very much, Ram. Next up, we have Bloomberg's Julie Verhage.
Thank you.
Thank you.